Well, howdy there, folks. This is your host, ID Jester. Thanks for checking out my video. Do appreciate it. As you can see, we're looking at City Skylines, the brand new city building game from Colossal Order. So we've been posting our own little cities. We've been doing some tutorials on how to do a height map editor, how to import those into your game. Today, what I thought I would do is actually show you how to build a new asset. So we're going to look at the assets here and create a new one. So let's get to it and see what we can build up here. So one of the things I find in this game, there are a ton of mods out there, and there's a ton. Yeah, just go to the Steam Workshop. You're going to find, oh my God, just so much stuff. But I like creating my own stuff as well. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes today showing you a few things, and hopefully it'll inspire you at home to create your own things as well. So we got a park here. We're going to make a park. One of the things I find in the game is that the parks tend to be rather large in scale. There's no like really smallish parks. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to create a park that's actually only 2 tiles wide, and we're going to make it 6 tiles deep. There we go. Alright, we'll get to the properties over here in a little bit. Of course, you can rotate the camera up and down, left and right, do all that fancy stuff just like you can regularly in the city's Skylines. Down here at the bottom, first thing we're going to have to do is come up with our surface tool. So this is going to be kind of the terrain that the park is going to be based upon. We have a few choices here. We got a pavement, we got gravel, we got ruined, we have a field, and we also have a clip, which happens to be like a hole in the terrain. So I guess that would be good for like making pools and stuff like that, possibly. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and use gravel. And we're just going to paint that gravel in just by highlighting the boxes, dragging our mouse around. We could, replace the textures once they're in there by just clicking on a different texture. So you can do that. So you can combine them however you want, maybe a little grass there and there. So yeah, very easy to use there. Now, what we're going to do here, I don't know, just something parkish, nothing too fancy-dancy, too crazy. We're going to put a few trees in here. So the trees are actually under the decorations and up here under the props here. So there are paths and there are props. So obviously we're going to click on a tree. The cool thing with the trees are there are different trees for each one. So if I choose the oak tree, it'll like randomly choose an oak tree from all of the different models that are in the game. So we'll put a couple trees in here. One there, maybe one there, one here, and there. You can see this one's a little bit bigger, this one's a little bit smaller. We can mix and match. We can put a few bushes in here if we wanted to. Put a bigger tree in. Whatever we want to do. Actually, what I think I'll do is there's lots of different props that you can put in. So we're looking at different signs. If you want to put signs in, there are random billboards you can put in. Looks like crates and barrels and stuff like that. You can put in woods, all kinds of different props. And hopefully people will just keep making more and more stuff here. So what we're going to do here is maybe put in a couple little lights, maybe is what I'm looking for. Maybe. I don't know how this is going to turn out yet. So let's see. So we got that. And then if we can find the actual lights, because there are a lot of tabs to be messing with here. Here we go. An antenna. Let's see what we have. Do we have, here's the light. Let's see, can we put this light right up on top of this? Nope, we won't actually let it. I always thought that would be cool to put the light right on top of that little pillar, but nope. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just put a street light in there. And we'll put a street light in, say there. That's cool. Now we can obviously bulldoze anything we don't like, so we'll just get rid of those other things. I was thinking we could put the light like right on top of that. That would have been so cool, but Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can stack the different textures. You can actually create parking spaces that cars will actually use, um, which we'll look at here in a little bit. This park we won't actually do any of that with. What else can we put in here? Mailbox, grill, another mailbox, old asphalt. No, not interested. What do we got here? Some slanty roofs. Okay, so if you wanted to make your buildings look a little different, obviously lots of things you can do there. We'll get to markers here in a little bit. I do want to put a couple of the benches in. So we're going to put a couple benches in. And we can right click to actually rotate our texture here. So how do we want to do this? So the arrow is kind of important because this is the way it's going to snap to the road. So you obviously want to keep that in mind, that this is going to be the road over here. And so people or whatever, this is the way it's going to snap to the road. So actually I probably don't want to have too much right here. We will, oh, that's a big tree. Oh, that's even bigger. I just wanted, oh, that's even bigger. Let's go smaller. There we go. So, maybe something like that. There we go. So again, this is just going to be 2 by 6. All right. Benches. There we go. So let's rotate around. We'll put a couple benches in here by the light. Keep them just perfect in their look. There we go. Here we got a bench over here right underneath the tree. People are going to want to come in and sit there. All right. We're actually going to move this tree, get a little bit of room there between the benches, and maybe maybe a bush out here in the front somewhere. There we go. All right. So that's pretty much as easy as it is. You're just going to put down different props for your parks, different props. And of course, like I said, there's trees, there's billboards, there's all kinds of stuff. You can even just make it random. Just put like a random billboard in, and every time you plop one down, it'll have a different billboard there. So that's cool. Let's see. What else? Oh, we can put, yes, we can put in some nice, oops, did not mean to do that. We can put in some nice, super cool fencing. So you can put in a nice fence if you wanted to gate it off, make it like part of a gated community type thing. That's interesting as well. Obviously, you can see you're going to have to put it right on the edge of the texture there, because once you move it off, it's not part of your text, part of the actual thing you're creating. It'll disappear. Let's see what we have. We have a gate entrance. We have a roof platform. We have a random industrial prop. I think, what is this? Concrete support. Okay. So you can see there's just lots and lots and lots of different things to actually add in to the game here. How about a trash recycler can here? Let's see here. Kind of behind the light there a little bit. That's cool. Come down here. We'll do the same thing. There we go. All right. So again, here's your arrow. This is where it's going to prop on the street. So if you wanted your benches maybe to face the street, which actually might be a cool idea. Let's try that. Oops. Let's get the bulldozer. We'll bulldoze a few of this stuff. There we go. Put our bench back in there. This time we're going to have it face the street. We're going to rotate around so we can make sure everything's lined up. Obviously, we're going to have to destroy this bush because that's not going to look very good. All right, so there we got the street. We got some people that can come in. They'll actually sit on the park bench, watch the traffic go by. So that is going to be awesome. All right, so how do we do all that? Well, it's very important. Once you put all your props down, we want to actually go down to the last one over here, which is the markers tab. And we're going to click on the markers tab, and there are some very interesting things. There's the hang around marker, small and medium, or I'm sorry, small and large. Basically, what the hang around marker does is it tells people that come to the park, this is where you're going to kind of hang around, right? You're going to just kind of stand in this area or do different things. So we want our people to kind of hang around where our benches and stuff are. So we're going to create 2 of them there. One over there and one over there. So when people come to the park, this is where they're going to hang around. Of course, we could put them over here as well. Yeah, what the heck? We'll put one in there. Maybe some people don't want to sit on the benches or whatever. So that's what the hang around markers do. Door markers are extremely important. You want to make sure, if you're looking for realism here, you use door markers. So basically, a door marker tells the citizens where they can enter and leave. If you just want them randomly to walk in, that's fine. But if you want them to maybe come in a certain location, you want to put a door marker. So we're going to put a door marker on each side here. In fact, we're going to put a door marker right there. Put a door marker over there. So if somebody's coming in from the side, they can come in. It'll look like they're walking towards our benches here. All right. And lastly, we'll get one on the back side there, just in case we need that. So there's our door markers. There are other markers. Again, there's the invisible parking marker. If you create like a parking lot or something, you want to use, again, the markers. Go to the parking marker. You're going to put this down. It'll be invisible on your map, but it'll tell the computer program, hey, cars can park in this spot right here. And they'll actually pull in, and you'll see cars park in that spot. So definitely a good thing there. All right, lastly, over here on the right-hand side, we got the properties for our park. You can adjust these accordingly however you want, but they are going to use the default stats for the one that was going to be created when it loaded up, which I think was size 12 by 8. So a lot bigger park. We're creating a lot smaller park. So to keep that similar, I'm going to change a few of the statistics on my park. I don't want my park to, I mean, you could make a park that has just outrageous statistics to kind of help your city along and stuff like that, if that's what you want. Or you can, do what I'm doing and kind of just keep everything kind of very similar in stature to the game. So this way, my park isn't going to break anything. It's not going to give you any kind of special bonuses or anything like that. What I'm talking about is, like, for example, construction costs. So the construction cost for that default park, which was 12 by 8, was 500. Which, we're making a lot smaller park, so I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to change this to, say, let's go with 100. That seems like a good round number. It's 2 by 6. I don't know. I could actually get in and calculate the percentage of space here compared to the percentage of space by the 12 by 8. Figure out the percentage difference, and then I can adjust this accordingly. But I'm not willing to go through all that effort. I just want to kind of, maybe 100 might even be a little too high. Maybe 60, because let's go 60. Because really, I mean, we're creating a park that's a lot smaller than that 12 by 8. Fire hazard. If we wanted to make this, a really bad fire source for whatever reason, maybe we had some lumber in here or whatever, we could actually adjust that as well. Fire tolerance, garbage accumulation, and maintenance costs. So obviously our park is not going to cost 100. It's only going to cost maybe 10 maintenance cost. And again, I'm just keeping these numbers in line with the default park, which was 12 by 8. Electricity, we shouldn't have any consumption, but of course, if you have things in here that might consume electricity, you might want to, adjust that stat as well. Tourists. So this tells us low wealth, medium wealth, and high wealth tourists, how likely they are to come and visit this park. And right now we have a 50 for everything across the board there. Again, that's for the really big parks. I think what I'll do here is maybe adjust these to maybe 10. Again, 10. You can set these to whatever numbers you feel are good for your game. Save it. Water. Does it have accumulate any water? No. Okay, so that's kind of the in-game part of it, and then the last two are the entertainment accumulation. This is the number of, hey, how happy they will be. Okay, I can crank this up to say 500, and when I put a park down, you will just see everybody just like go crazy and start upgrading because we've just broken the game by saying, okay, this little tiny park is going to give them so much happiness, or entertainment accumulation, I guess is what they're calling it here. And then last but not least is, and I think this number is okay to leave because, I mean, whether it's a big park that's 12 by 8 or in this case a 2 by 6 park, it's still going to keep everybody as happy. That number I think is okay. You don't need to adjust this. The number that I think we're going to adjust here is the radius, and that's going to be the big green circle that goes around your park that shows you how many people around there are going to be happy. Obviously, since it's a smaller park, it's more of a local thing. It's not going to be quite as many people coming from far, far away, and we're not going to make the whole city happy. We're not going to make you know 6 or 8 blocks happy. Maybe we're going to make one block happy. And what I found is probably the more the radius goes down, the smaller and smaller the circle. But you don't want to make it too small either, because sometimes you're putting parks, in locations where there, might be a break between it and residents and stuff. So you don't want to turn it down too much. So I'm going to actually keep it on 150 there. And even though it was at 400, it seems like, oh my gosh, that's just too big a radius. But like I said, if you start getting down into 100 or less than that, it's a really small radius circle. And again, you're not going to get that many people that are going to be happy with your park radius. So, like I said, sometimes you put parks in location where, here's a road that comes, and here's a road, and so if you don't have your radius big enough, it's not going to actually get across the road to the residents that might be over here and over here and over there. I should mention up here at the top, you see there's only 64 props that you can use, and we're using 21 of them already, so you want to keep that in mind when you're placing props. Alright, so that's it for that. We're going to again, all the in-game information. And like I said, you can use this however you want. Like I said, you can make a park that'll actually go crazy and just give happiness to everybody in the whole map, even though it's really tiny. You could make it consume, 1,000 electricity or whatever. It's up to you what you want to do. All right, so we are done with that. So the last thing we need to do, we can just, close out of that. Last thing we can do here is come over to our asset editor, and we're going to take a snapshot. So always try to get as close as possible as if you can, because the game distorts it a little bit and it looks farther away. So I see a lot of people go, oh, I want to show everybody what it is, and they take a picture up here. Problem is, when you get it to the preview, this is really small and you got all this green area around. You want to show people what it is. Zoom in and you're still going to see some green areas, so don't worry about that. Alright, so we're just going to press the button, and even though it didn't look like it did anything, it doesn't say up here in the corner, picture taken or anything like that. We took a picture. Just press the button once. If you think, oh, wait a minute, I don't know if I took the picture or not, you can click it again and again and again and again and again, and all of a sudden you got like 5 pictures, you don't even realize it. So now we're going to come up to our asset. We're going to save our asset, and we're going to call this the 2 by 6 tree park, right? And asset name over here, 2 by 6 tree park. And I'm going to just name it whatever. I mean, you can call it Joe Blow's driveway or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. It's just a naming convention. And you can see our portrait picture here. We got a couple of them because I was just taking snapshots. We can choose one of them. We'll just choose this one. That's fine. And of course, all we have left to do is hit the save button. Pretty easy stuff there. Now what we're going to do is actually quit back to the main menu, and we're going to drop down our park here in our game that we got going on that I've got saved there. And we'll plop it down in a couple locations out and see if anybody comes and visits our park. Alright, so first things first, we'll just put it on pause. So this is our city of Helsinki. It is a mess. As you can see, I've done a great job of like just totally destroying the city of Helsinki. But you know, whatever. It's our first play. So here's a nice little location over here. Maybe we can get a park over here. So of course we're going to go to our parks, and now we're going to look for our 2x6 tree park. You see I've got a couple of the other ones built, a 2x8 and a 2x4. So let's see if we can find a 2x6. See, 6 is a little deep for this situation. So in this case, I would probably take my 2x4, and my 2x4 looks like it would maybe fit in there somewhere. Yeah, it would fit in there. Let's see if we can find a 2x6 location. Oh, we got to click on the 2x6. There we go. Let's see if we can actually... Nope, can't put it there. We can't put it there. Can't put it there. Can put it over here. We destroy a building, but yeah, I'm not really wanting to destroy buildings. Alright, so let's put it here, I guess. So let's watch first things first. Look at our green radius. I'll bring it over here over the water because it's a little easier to see. So you see our radius. Even though we put it on 150, which you know might be a little big. Again, you might have area like here where half of it's road, you know, freeway and stuff like that. So if you make it, you know, kind of smaller than say 100, you're really kind of limiting how big an area you are going to make happy with our park. Alright, so we're going to put our park down here. Bling! And see, we just made just like 4 or 5 people happy, just in that little radius there. That's it. Alright, so let's take it off of pause here, just so we can see if anybody comes and visits our park. Notice again, the little arrow was pointing in the direction that our park was facing, and that's the way it's going to be put on the map. So you remember those benches we put in were facing the entranceway. Hopefully we'll get somebody to come visit our park. That would be kind of cool. I'm going to just speed it up a little bit until probably my town will blow up while I'm doing this, but I want to kind of see people. Oh, there's somebody that came in just so fast. I'm just going to slow down to just 1 speed now. Alright. So somebody came in, and you see her come in there. She comes in. There we go. We got some visitors. And see, they're hanging out in our little areas of see the little areas we put down where the hangout areas were. And you notice that that other guy actually walked through and just walked out the back. If you watched, he kind of just came through and then he walked through the back. So we got somebody sitting on our bench here watching the traffic. We got somebody else coming in. Notice they're kind of all coming in where we put the doorway in. That's good. Alright, so obviously good. We can click on our park and we can see our upkeep is 1.6 per week. Okay. It's operating normally and it has 8 visitors. Oh, we got another guy here looking at our park. So, there we go. So, like I mentioned, just because a lot of the built-in parks are, you know, a lot bigger, you know, we're talking, and the other thing with these parks that come in the game, they don't actually tell you the size anywhere of them, which is kind of sad. You know, I wish it would say, like, park with trees, 6x8 or whatever. This one here, small playground, 6x6, just so I have an idea of what size I'm dealing with. Otherwise, I gotta look at it. Nope, can't use that one. Nope, gotta click on that. Nope, gotta use it. So I'm hoping, hopefully they adjust that as well. So, anywho, that is how to create an asset, and just a quick tutorial. Of course, most of it's Pretty easy stuff. You're just going to add your little props in, figure out what kind of size you're going to deal with, what kind of props you're going to put in there. In this case, you can see we have this gravel here, which doesn't make much sense with all the green stuff around. Although, so I probably make another one, or maybe I would change this one to have maybe a green as well, a green instead of the cobblestone, make it a grass one, so blend in a little bit better. I guess the park being cobblestone kind of stands out a little bit more, but you can see we got lots of visitors. They're kind of all hanging out in our little hangout areas. We had one here, one in the middle, one by our other benches. You can see they're all using those. They're using the benches. Our benches lined up? Yes, our benches are lined up. It's just the angle I'm at. So yeah, pretty cool. And that's something I created. Of course, if I like it and everything, I could just upload it to the old Steam Workshop. And let other people get access to it. I'm sure there's probably, by now, the game's been out a week or two, and so there's probably only maybe 4,000 parks on the Steam Workshop that you could probably download. So I'm not going to bother sending this out to Steam Workshop. I just did it for myself, and now I'll have access to it, so I can always use this again at a later time. In fact, let's go ahead and click back to the main menu really quickly here. This done here in the next 4 minutes. Map editor, asset editor. Let's go ahead and load up really quickly here. And we're going to choose our 2x6 again. 2x6, load it up. There we are. All right. So, let's see if I can just change this to be more of a grass area. See the grass. If I'm going to put it in, where I just put that other one, it was kind of grassy. So that was obviously going to help. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we actually have a grass field. That's kind of sad. Not sure why you can't actually make it like a grass. Oh well. Maybe what I would do is maybe adjust this down to 100 because it is a little bit smaller. Again, the entertainment accumulation, it doesn't matter the size of the park. They're still going to get as much entertainment out of it. And the other thing I might want to do with this is you can add in some decorations for the animals. So you got the dog park teeter-totter. I noticed that when we were watching that, there was a few people that came with their dogs and stuff. So maybe we could give them more entertainment for their dogs by putting in just a frame or something. There we go. Alright, that's it. Boom, done. Save it. Tree park, tree park. Oh, no, I don't mean to load. I want to save. There we go. 2x6 tree park, save. Do we want to override? Yes, we do. That's it. Alright, we will, hopefully this has been informative, but we're going to call this episode a close, and you guys can make all kinds of interesting things. If you're not into making creative things, the only thing I can tell you, go to the Steam Workshop. Probably anything you could possibly imagine is already in there or will soon to be in there. There's just so much stuff. It's incredibly great. And I think people are really, really loving this game, as I am as well. So, in order for doing this for us, I think a lot of people are going to spend many, many hours creating some awesome stuff. And we're going to do the same thing. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.